Hey, what's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me good? Is there any type of drag in the video or any of those things? Let me know. Any drag in the video, or again, like is there like some distortion with the sound or the way it looks? Let me know. TS, anybody in here? Just let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know if if you could hear everything pretty good. Talking about homecoming. In fact, back in Louisiana, for those of y'all who don't know, what's up, Casual Kai 13, Blessings TS. What's up? 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 Selena Sorensen. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Loud and clear. All right. Cool. Cool. Just gonna talk our way into it, but title of this video, Homecoming. Homecoming. Speaking to, and I just changed it to that too, because I mean, I was gonna speak, or I am speaking about like the root chakra energy, and just again the aspect of healing our inner child or healing our inner family. I do have a video on Patreon where I get into a chakra exercise, and the little step by step of how to do it, and going within and really seeing what's going on in each chakra, because each chakra has something going on in it, what I'm saying, which makes our whole day, just like playing an instrument, what I'm saying, like you playing an instrument, you know, our chakra system mimics like an instrument, what I'm saying, each chakra gives off a different sound or a different vibration, the color red in the root chakra gives off a slower vibration, and the white or purple of the crown chakra, you know what I'm saying? I should say purple, hence why, they talk about ultraviolet light and it not being seen by the eyes. 66 Starlight, what's up? Divine Mama, what's up? What's up? A lot of people to come in. But yeah, realizing, like right now, and I spoke to, in a live video, but like Pluto coming out of retrograde, what retrograde is it allows for us to see things from a reflective perspective, and in essence from a slowed down perspective, as above so below, as within so without, and also too, what I'm saying. Yeah, blessing to everybody. uh Also, with the retrograde basically, remember, first and foremost, everything externally is a projection of what's going on inside of us, first and foremost. So when we even go to talking about planets and things of this nature, think of it from a perspective of Pluto is in retrograde inside of me, or Saturn is doing this inside of me, you know, and also acknowledging the aspect of, again, that's what makes, you could say a shaman, or, and I even use that word, like people who are tapped into their energy and tapped into that God energy. You have to be able to deal with the dual nature of things without, losing your mind, so to speak, for lack of a better word, to realize the paradox of our existence, but not feeling like, well, shit, if everything external is fake and then it's only internal, then why am I here? Or, like you have to be able to, realize the wholeness of the being, and hence another thing too, we're realizing that it's about being the whole aspect of God, like, what I'm saying, like not just partial. Hence why, again, like choosing this experience, because it's partially like a prison, what I'm saying, coming back into this realm due to not learning certain lessons, but certain lessons we set in place for ourselves, you know, and that aspect of you feeling like, you may feel like, you're on a petri dish or something of that nature, and there's like some beings watching us. In that sense, yeah, it is like, again, like our higher higher self again, because it's all us, the higher self, but also like the oversoul, because a lot of us like in connection with, lack of a better word, twin flame, stuff like this. We come from our soul fam. A lot of us come from the same oversoul in essence. Again, because in this bodysuit, we're just one drop of a bigger ocean. You know what I'm saying? And again, with the retrograde aspect, retro meaning like what it is, like past, kind of like how they had the retro shoes, the retro Jordans, all this shit. uh, basically it was us reflecting on certain aspects that in essence was going to allow for deep transformation in certain aspects too, along the lines of dealing with the Capricorn energy and the Saturn energy. So again, dealing with like stability in our realm, you know what I'm saying, like dealing with responsibility, dealing with quote unquote business, or how we sustain ourselves, on a, you could say financially, but just sustaining yourself in general, you know what I'm saying, on whatever form of, abundance you're seeing manifest. And also dealing with our persona, with, the way we present ourselves, our quote unquote reputation, so we were reflecting on a deep, reflecting on deep transformation in the area of that Capricorn energy, and since it has come out of Pluto, coming out of retrograde, now we kind of get to a place of seeing like, all right, these things came to me slow. So we was like in that retrograde, going slowly through, like I talk about lesson loops, but they were moving at such a pace that was allowing for you to, see these things, you know what I'm saying, in order, because again, there's no stone that's going unturned or uncovered. Like, you're getting to see all the aspects of your subconscious, you know what I'm saying, like, because even recently I had to, like, check some aspects of like facing fears, and that's another thing that's important right now, asking to see your fears, like, not running away from yourself, because you can't run away from yourself. And that'll be the whole aspect of you coming back down here, is because you didn't release some type of programming due to some type of fear, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's fear of knowing more about our existence or whatever the case may be, you got to face these fears, you know what I'm saying, and sit with them and facing them through acknowledgement, you know, like because basically even not acknowledging a fear, it's a fear within itself, because if you're running away from facing your fear, that is a fear, you know what I'm saying, you fear facing your fears, you know what I'm saying, like, you gotta be able to face all of that shit, you know what I'm saying, because again, by running away from anything, you won't be able to heal yourself. If I break my leg, you know what I'm saying, and literally and figuratively, if I broke my leg, I wouldn't be able to run from it. You know what I'm saying? But if I break my leg, you know, I won't be able to heal that leg through, oh, let me not pay attention to it. Like, let me run from it. Well, no, that broken leg is only going to get worse. You know what I'm saying? So hence, the reason why, we have to acknowledge these things in order to, fix it, and transmute the energies. But I had to come, and two, you'll realize, you may catch this vibe of like, well, damn, this can't be me. Like, this subconscious programming can't be me. If it's coming up for you in some way, form, or fashion, it's some type of programming that's been plugged into your subconscious. I recently had to realize, like, there was something plugged into my subconscious about learning from women. Like, I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem learning whether there's a book that a woman wrote or watching a video by, a woman. But it was just still in a little vibe somewhere subtly. I might have had like this inner, and I say might have had some type of little subtle inner grudge or something against learning from women. So I had to face that. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you can't be lying to yourself. You're not going to make it through your spiritual growth lying to yourself. And if you plan on lying to yourself, you might as well just hang it up right now, you know what I'm saying? And kick your feet up and enjoy this realm of reality, and prepare to reincarnate for probably another 25,000 years. And when I say 25,000 years, that ain't necessarily, what's 25,000 years here is like a minute in the higher realms, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta be able to face yourself. And what's up, y'all? I see everybody coming through. I'm gonna do a little bit of Q&A as well, but acknowledging, you know, the fear. Matter of fact, also a fear of being wrong. And I always will speak on that. I'm like, from that little Capricorn energy, like, hence again, like, reason why I don't like lying, like, or creating like a little fake story to anybody, because I dislike being humiliated. You know what I'm saying? But I was fearing humiliation, or like fearing being wrong, so much so to where I was like, running from certain aspects, and I had to realize that, like, bruh, it's all right to be wrong. Like, that's how you learn. Like, basically trying to be impeccable, and that's part of that trying to be perfect mind frame, or being taught again that subconscious programming that everything has to be right. Everything has to be perfectly right. Like, everything has to always be with a smile and perfectly right like this, because somebody said that this is spirituality, being perfectly with a smile on their face all the time, you know what I'm saying, and never going through shit, you know, and that's a falsehood, because again, pressure makes a diamond. The reason why a diamond is what it is through the pressure, you know what I'm saying. It's not because it's running away from the pressure, and the pieces of carbon or coal that run away from the pressure don't turn into a diamond. Ain't nothing wrong with being carbon or coal, because again, maybe that carbon or whatever is not ready to become a diamond, you know what I'm saying? So, cool, you know what I'm saying? It ain't no good, no bad. That's another thing. It's no good or bad, right or wrong, it's all a part of the growth. And right now, with me realizing, it's not so much work as the last time I came to Louisiana. Like, now I'm coming back to settle in Louisiana, and literally this trip is mimicking the growth, because I'm not coming to stay at my mom's house. I'm just passing through. That's where I'm at right now. This is the location, Opelousas, Louisiana, but I'm, passing through my mom's house, and headed to Baton Rouge, and, getting things together so I could manifest this, or line up with this apartment that's already manifested in that sense of it. It's just lining ourselves up with these things. That was a important little reminder I got recently from a video speaking on manifestation, and like it moves, you know, things manifest from when we're in a higher perspective, you know what I'm saying, or vibrating in a higher frequency. Because again, if we're in some of these low vibes of like, bro, I wish I would die. Imagine if things would manifest like this, in this realm, in that sense, on any level, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like whether your vibration was high or low, like if things manifested like this, bro, it'll be a lot of people just, getting hit by cars, and presidents dying and all kind of shit. I snap a finger. But even yourself, like, again, because there's moments where you probably say, I wish I was dead, or I wish I wasn't here. And no, no dead, but transitioning out of your bodysuit, you know, and that would happen in the snap of a finger, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this experience is about. It's about learning uh, through going through a denser reality, through a reality that, and again, as I say reality, this is a holographic, simulation, that at the same time, it's still a quote unquote, uh, realm of reality nonetheless. It's just a holographic one, a temporary realm, just like our bodysuit is temporary, but we ask for all these different aspects so we could, learn and go through these different situations, you know. So it takes that slower vibration in order for things to, for you to learn yourself. Like, again, like, moving at this pace, is almost like God saying God was here, you know what I'm saying? Like, God, the universe, the no thing, you know what I'm saying, slowing itself down. I say the no thing, going through a dense experience to have that experience, you know what I'm saying? Like, the only way is to create, and again, the only way was to create a dual nature of things, you know what I'm saying? Hot, cold, light, dark, and you get to a realization that it's not two different things, but just two sides of the same coin. You know what I'm saying? That's what breaking out of duality is, in that essence. Is not seeing it as two different things, or trying to take sides or be extreme. Because again, it's back to balance. Like with our chakras, we don't try to make sure the shock, or one chakra is overspinning and the other chakra underspinning, or even with one chakra, the object is to have the chakra spinning in a balanced way, not overspinning, like spinning fast, out of control, like, crazy, because that's how things will come to you all like, and you don't want it underspinning, like, what I'm saying? Like, you want to be, balanced. And again, with me dealing talking about homecoming, I named it that because I realized I'm back in my hometown. And last time I was here, I happened, not even knowing, happened to come around when it was homecoming for my high school. You know what I'm saying? And right now, today, like, my uncle just came through. And he's like, oh yeah, about to go out there, you know what I'm saying, and set up and things of this nature, and go enjoy the little homecoming vibes. And I'm like, oh shit, it's like it lined up for me to be around here again with this energy. And again, peeping out the subtle subconscious aspects. Because again, like I was talking about the Pluto energy, things, coming up from the deepness of our being, you know what I'm saying, in order for us to transform. And it's part of me that still, it's two aspects, It's, that aspect of breaking out of that vibe of trying to, like, feel like you gotta save your hood or save all of, you know what I'm saying? It starts first and foremost with yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, save yourself, and the others could use that blueprint of you saving yourself, of how you operated by, doing what you doing in your universe, that could be used as a blueprint, and they could tap into that insight in a way that's uniquely catered to them, because we're all uniquely on a different experience, all collectively working to get out of this realm, in essence. Well, let's just say, for some of us, you know what I'm saying, some of us are energies that's trying to keep, that contrast, trying to keep energies within this realm, you know what I'm saying, and we're opening up to things get more and more exposed, especially in October. Things are becoming more exposed in that nature. We're gonna be finding out a lot of things that once was like, seemed like a sci-fi movie or whatever. You know what I'm saying, like some old crazy shit, to what society would call it, when it's really like, some real things going on. And I'm gonna do a separate video. Spoiler alert before I even talk on it, but there's a new little show on Netflix called Raising Dion. As a matter of fact, Dion, D-I-O-N-E-D-1, or D1, you know what I'm saying, like the one, you know what I'm saying. Go check that out. And which I ain't watched it all, but I'm going to speak from where I done watched so far. But, again, though, all these things coming up to light, you know what I'm saying, as far as people having extrasensory perception. It's a fact that, the government used remote viewers, and a lot of cold cases were solved with psychics, you know what I'm saying? That's on their documents, that's on their paperwork, you know. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Saving ourselves, because you look up, again, the person who, like, always trying to save something externally instead of saving themselves, they end up diminishing themselves, end up like all burnt out, you know what I'm saying, not really being able to maximize their work compared to the person who's taking care of themselves, And again, speaking of homecoming, you know, again, that root chakra energy, you know what I'm saying, the root in our subconscious origins, because everything in our subconscious started off, and that's dealing with our root chakra as well, was our early development, you know what I'm saying. The first time we was told something was right and something was wrong and things of this nature. But, I want to speak to, again, embracing your hood, embracing where you come from, you know what I'm saying, no matter what the situation was, whether your parents or guardians or whoever left you in a dumpster, or might abuse you or whatever. For one, you gotta remember, you gotta put your big boy and big girl panties on and drawers on and all that, and realize you chose this situation. You chose this experience, and it becomes a lost outlook, and you get into a lesson loop. Or you get into a loop in energy of feeling like, oh, everything is external and everything is happening to me, and you're basically giving up your God energy, you know what I'm saying, your divine right in this experience, you know what I'm saying. But again, back to the embracing the hood aspect, like realizing, like, because I even had a little earlier situation earlier. My brother, first thing my brother bring up when I get out here is like, man, nigga was shooting at me, nigga had to do this, that, you know what I'm saying, and the third, and I just observe, like, instead of, because another thing, it's not about judgment, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, we have discernment. There's a difference. Like, we ain't just running out here like, la, la, la. No, you have hearts discerning, like a discerning energy to read, like, intuitively, like, all right, to to not deal with this person, or to deal with this person, or this is a little situation that I might not want to deal with, or things of this nature. Discerning energy is real, but it's like that whole uh, judgment, like releasing judgment. Because in the past, I would have judged this like, oh, this is like, negative in that sense, and judging it though, like, because again, something could be negative or positive, but it's not for us to judge it, you know what I'm saying, in that sense of it, because it all goes back to perception or perspective anyway, you know what I'm saying. Like somebody going to jail could explain that experience as something that was great for them because it helped them to change their lives into a different place. Or somebody else could be like, oh man, fuck that jail situation. Or on the outside looking in, oh, it was bad when so and so went to jail, that was bad for them. But how you gonna speak on their situation? That's your perspective, that's your outlook, you know like, you again, like, that's external shit that's coming from somebody else. But again, dealing with that energy, I had to observe and not judge, you know what I'm saying? And starting to see that when I don't judge and I don't have this fear of like, oh, I don't want to hear anything outside of positive and peachy stuff. Like, of course, you don't want to, again, dwell in the negative. That's something we're not looking to do, But again, negative situations come about, but it's the focus, of our essence, you know what I'm saying, is based on a blissful experience, you know what I'm saying, like a experience of, of having fun and being childlike, you know what I'm saying, and being childlike, childlike, having fun, you know what I'm saying, like, not being serious and grown and this and that, you know what I'm saying, like, and even with that childlike energy, again, yes, you are accountable as a soul on your growth, but it's not like the grown-up type of accountable. It's just like accountable for, as a soul to acknowledge what you came down here to do. You know what I'm saying? And again, accountable for your self-mastery, for mastering your inner universe, for knowing what's going on in your realm. And again, going back to healing the inner mother, the inner father, and the inner child. Because there's certain things that you picked up on. And again, not only just from learning within the household or wherever, you know what I'm saying, from your parents or guardians, but also things that just got passed down to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, things that were just, you know, uh, like, again, realizing for myself a little bit of that energy from my dad of like, you know, dealing with multiple women, and not that I'm, again, like, on no player type of shit or none of that energy, but I had to realize, you know what I'm saying, like, the way I would move with women and that type of nature was kind of reflective of my father's energy, you know what I'm saying, like, because again, in order to heal things, in order to, grow from situations, I gotta really acknowledge what's going on. I can't act like something that is not going on. Can't act like I don't have a broke leg, because again, that broke leg only gets worse, you know. So, and again, no good or bad, no right or wrong or judgments either, you know what I'm saying. Again, this is a part of my experience, you know. I also had to realize for a lot of us, getting over that hump of how we deal with financial abundance or abundance in general, you know what I'm saying. We come up in a household where everything was probably like penny pinch this, penny pinch that, you know. Don't spend money on that. You could use this old shit that we got already, you know what I'm saying? Or don't. And nothing was wrong or right with mom or dad having those type of upbringings and teaching it to us. But we realize like that's a energy that no longer serves a purpose in our growth. You know what I'm saying? Like again, a tree can try to deny its roots, but it will fall down if it try to deny its roots. If all trees right now just is like, man, fuck my roots, you know what I'm saying, and try to, you know, run away from it, you know, all trees would instantly fall down. You know what I'm saying? And also when I say embracing our roots and stuff like that, I like how I said embracing my hood, you know, embracing my hood in the sense of like, man, all the situations I done got into, you know what I'm saying, whether it was dealing with selling drugs or somebody getting shot or shot at or shooting at somebody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Any type of things that you may have been involved with, you know what I'm saying? That made you who you are, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean, again, embracing that doesn't mean going back to that behavior that no longer serves a purpose. It's just, you know, again, acknowledging it, you know, and giving it that unconditional love and taking away the judgment of it, you know what I'm saying, and realizing, hey, I asked for this experience, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not, because again, like just because I'm back at my mom's house passing through, and just because I chunked the deuce or holler at one of my brethren I grew up with or whatever, as long as I'm not going back into a subconscious mind state of doing things or thinking about things in a way that I used to that no longer serves my now, you know what I'm saying, then I'm good. But if and again, realizing everything externally is a manifestation of what's going on inside of you. But a lot of things, again, or should I say, and a lot of things that come up, you know, it's not for you to judge or whatever, because some things are coming up to allow for you to deal with it without judging it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like you may have still been doing it inside, so it's showing itself externally. Because again, it's like, all right, you haven't been catching it with the first eye inside, so let's present this situation with the two eyes. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, again, this is a holographic universe, but again, the holographic aspect of it still is a representation of what's going on inside. Because again, like speaking of the hood, some of the brothers in the hood that might feel like, oh man, fuck it, I'm gonna never make it out the hood. You know, I ain't shit and the hood ain't shit. Everybody ratting, all hoes is ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Then they experience that, you know what I'm saying, constantly, because that's what's programmed into the subconscious. Hence why they may stay in these realms, and that's all they see externally, because that's where they're at internally. And it's like clockwork, you know, you could try to deny it, but you know, and again, that's where you got to put the pride aside when you start to realize, like, all right, damn, you know, I am where I am due to some type of subconscious, you know, programming, you know. And right now, we get into a place of removing all the programs, you know, like all the external programs that's not from us. Like that's one of the biggest things that's going on right now. And things are getting to a place that's a little lighter about it. You know what I'm saying? And there's different strokes for different folks, because depending on how much some of us been procrastinating, quote unquote, without working, which I don't feel like it's technically procrastinating in the sense of, you know, hey, if you chose to procrastinate, then it was meant for you to learn these things slower or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, yeah, it's different strokes for different folks, but for sure we're, like, again, removing these external programmings of things, again, that we were taught from our first environments, and again, that's connected with the root chakra. And I got a video that goes in depth into this too, you know, but again, just speaking on it right now. But again, embracing your hood, your root chakra, embracing where you come from, you know, that. And also when we say that, because some of us had that, oh yeah, to save the hood, my job is to save my, you gonna save your hood or whatever through saving your inner hood. Like, you know, work on your root chakra and, you know, the early development stages of your inner universe, and it'll transform your external universe, you know what I'm saying? So again, it all goes back to the inner work, because somebody wants you to think, oh yeah, the way to save everything is to go to Mars or to go to the moon or to go to, you know, some of these external planets or whatever. And again, this may turn into things that, and as I'm saying this, again, this may turn into aspects that may become a reality in this realm. You know what I'm saying? Again, within this temporary dream realm, it may get to a point where physical external travel to some other places, or say for instance something even within this plane of existence where we find out that Antarctica, or going to Antarctica, or that maybe Antarctica is surrounding us, and that this realm, and I'm not getting into whether it's flat or globe or none of that shit, because again, that's like fussing about, again, like if we in jail and fussing about, oh, the jail roof is domed, oh, the jail roof is flat. I mean, both of y'all sitting in jail regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like, and both of y'all going back and forth about anything. Like, again, like, it's not about arguing, and it's not about convincing anybody of anything, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing, too. If anything tries to influence your decision making, that's not in alignment. Like, it's about your, or should I say, nothing should be trying to sway your decision making or how you operate. Again, people could present information to you and share insight with you, but if it's from a perspective, and you could feel somebody tugging on your strings energetically, like, hey, see this like I see it. You should have the same outlook as me, or do things the way I do it. Like, no, what I'm saying? You're here again like a unique potluck. What I'm saying? We each got a type of food that we're great at cooking. And the moment that we don't cook the food that we're great at, then the world is missing out on a dish on that level. But we're gonna get into some other things too. I don't wanna stay too long. I gotta learn how to do that. Blessings, y'all. But again, just back to that root chakra homecoming vibe. You don't have to indulge in the old activities that no longer serve you from your past. It's just at the same time, you know, uh, as you deal with the energies of the past, being unjudgmental towards you. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, now I'm in a place where when I talk to my mom, I'm no longer trying to say, hey, you need to be drinking alkaline water, and hey, you need to be doing this, or hey, you need to be doing that. Because here it is, that's me trying to influence her reality, you know what I'm saying, and get her to see things the way I see things, or the way it's going through. And it's like, nah, I can now, we talking, and like, hey, what do you eat? Oh, I drink alkaline water, and I eat these type of foods. And remember, even with that, it's not being extreme, you know, because again, shout out to B.O.B. and Brother Panic for that album Southmatic. The B.O.B. says some people, traded Jesus in for vegetables. You know, it's like, instead of Jesus saving you, think vegetables gonna save you. And again, it's about the inner work, and again, it's more of a subconscious work. You know what I'm saying? There's a full body of work too. It's like, it's chakra work, subconscious work, because the mind is what creates this reality. And when we speak on the mind is also included in essence in the heart, as well. And I probably do an exercise. I gotta meditate with it more and see how much it integrates, really works for me. But like integrating like all the minds or all the intuitions within the body. So you got the quote unquote gut feeling, you got the heart's intuition, and then you got like the pineal intuitive insight, more so from a visionary aspect. But it's aligning that trinity of intuitions and letting them merge and become unison, or operate in unison, I should say. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. But again, you don't have to hate or try to change people. Like people who are still in the hood, you don't have to change. Like, oh, well, you gotta change and see things differently. No, you could share what you're going through from your aspect, but that's what it is. And again, a tree, fall down if it denied its roots, if it denied the ground, like, like, oh, fuck my mama, you know what I'm saying? Because my mama, you know, she smoked crack while she was pregnant for me. Or fuck my mama, she let the doctor spank me on my ass instead of going to a midwife. Or fuck my mom, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying fuck yourself. Again, you chose a situation, and God or source, the no thing, again, the no thing could potentially be all things. Hence why, with the atom is like 99.9% nothingness, which allows for it to, quote unquote, for lack of a better word, manifest into anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, reason why, a certain crystal or a certain item, a chair or whatever exists, you know what I'm saying? It's because certain little atoms, quote unquote, within the dream realm is coming together to, create that aspect, you know what I'm saying? But it's from being the no thing is allowing for it to be potentially any and all things, you know what I'm saying? And I forgot where I was on that tangent. But saying fuck your roots and all that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like saying fuck your mama. Cause think about it, cause again, what we call this plane of existence, again, for whether it's a hologram or not, you know what I'm saying? Uh, I would say mama matrix, but mama, mother earth, you know what I'm saying? And when you're dealing with the earth aspect, you gotta dig into the ground. Like digging into the ground is like the wound energy, hence why the water and the earth is represented by downward triangles. And and again, we all grown folks in here, I trust. But like the vagina, you know what I'm saying, that area of a woman is shaped like a what? Like the thighs come in on the yoni and it's shaped like a V. You know what I'm saying? So you see all that resonance, and I got a video that talks about booties, breasts, and pine cones kissing noses, and about like how the woman's body embraces sacred geometry, and it tells the story of the universe. But yeah, that earth tilling the land, you know what I'm saying, like, and planting a seed, you know, that's that whole aspect, you know, uh, again, embracing the earth. And you see too the correlation, like a woman goes through cycles, in accordance with the moon. And matter of fact, and as above, so below, as within, so without. Also, when you plant a seed into the quote-unquote earth, into the ground, you know what I'm saying, again, because you're creating like a yoni whenever you're digging a hole into the ground. That's like a birth canal, and you drop that seed in there, for something to sprout out. And again, whatever it is going to have to grow roots first. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's a little flower that ain't going to grow taller than this, whether, because even again, like the grass, some grass may not grow as tall as this much, but it still has some type of root system, something that's like attaching it to that ground, you know. And again, look at a mountain. The reason why a mountain is taller than a tree, because a mountain has a stronger foundation and a stronger root. And the stronger your root is, the higher you could climb. Same thing like with dealing with a ladder. Like, would you get on the ladder if if at the foundation of it is all flimsy, and as soon as you go to step on it, it'll go to wobbling like this, you know what I'm saying? Well, you won't be able to climb up as high as you would like, because the bottom part of it, you know what I'm saying, the root or the foundation of the ladder is flimsy, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with our inner works, you know what I'm saying? We gotta get that flimsiness out of our root chakra, you know what I'm saying? And heal, again, the inner family, the inner father, the inner mother, and the inner child, you know what I'm saying? Like asking yourself, like, why do I have this outlook? Why do I feel like I should be scared to spend money? Why do I feel like I look at women in this light, or I look at men in this light? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? It's doing that work, why did my sexual orientation turn out to be LGBT, or whatever that may be, or whatever, it's like questioning everything, and again, and I spoke on that, hence why, I mean, for sure in general, like, stepping out of the pride, like if you got pride, you won't be able to, you're going to be like, oh no, fuck that, I got pride, and I'm not going to admit that I was wrong, or that I have to refix this situation. Like, think of a prideful carpenter, that might have fucked up with the blueprint. Like, think about like somebody building your house, and you got a prideful carpenter building your house, and he's so prideful that even if he, again, might have messed up, he don't want to admit that he's wrong, so he's going to continually work. I ain't say wrong for lack of a better word, but he did something that's wrong for building the house, let's just say, that's not healthy for the house building, but he like, fuck that, I'm not going back, because going backwards would be admitting that I'm wrong again. And I had to realize that, like, fuck it, if you know, if whatever it is, you have to admit that you were wrong. Again, for lack of a better word, then yeah, you know what I'm saying. You got to be able to admit that. But you know, again, you allow that carpenter to, you know, that prideful carpenter to build on these things. You know what I'm saying? Then your house is gonna end up being fucked up because that carpenter was too prideful to admit, oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I put a bunch of screws, you know, the wrong way because I was too prideful to acknowledge that I did it wrong the first time. So I just stayed with it, and all of them came out wrong. And now your house is falling down, and now you got to rebuild your house. And that's something I had to admit to myself, like, you know, trying to grow too fast, like hurry up and trying to get to the crown. And it's like, well, shit. Like thinking about, like, if you try to climb up a tree, you know what I'm saying, that ain't strongly rooted, you know what I'm saying? Like, that tree gonna fall again, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got no strong foundation, you're gonna fall. And hence why some of us may have experienced, like, falling back down, like, because we thinking, like, spirituality was about, oh yeah, just being overly in my crown, and then overly in my first eye, overly in the high chakras. But it's like, no, it's a balance, you know? The microcosmic breath is about going from the root to the crown, and from the crown back to the root. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance with that. Again, the mountain grows taller because it has that stronger foundation. And again, embracing your roots doesn't mean going backwards in the sense of, again, doing things that no longer serve you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, a tree wouldn't grow if it was trying to stay in its roots. You know what I'm saying? In that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, a tree wouldn't expand. And again, think about us on our growth. We have to step into the unknown. And that tree, what's an unknown place for any plant? It's continuously growing. You know, because at one time, the tree didn't even have branches, and now it had to go to a place of having branches. And then, you know, it had to experience having leaves, which is a new thing. And then, as it continues to grow, realizing, oh, it's seasons, and it's a moment where I'm going to not have leaves and have leaves, a moment where I'm going to have fruits and not have fruits. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, experiencing the unknown and growing higher and higher, you know what I'm saying? Due to not trying to stay in its roots either. So it's a balance, you know, like acknowledging your roots, acknowledging where you came from, but also still growing, you know, still sprouting up. You know, so very key. And not get too deep into the full moon aspect, you know, but it is a full moon in Aries, October 13th. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically our subconscious feelings, our emotions of what we truly want. So our emotions and subconscious feelings, which is kind of dealing with the moon, you know. And the moon, the full moon, is basically like showing us all the seeds we planted during the new moon, you know. And right now, when we're going from what it is, from the full moon, after this full moon going into the new moon, or we could say right now, starting right now, I ain't gonna go too far ahead. You know, coming from a new moon into a full moon, we're doing constructive magic. You know what I'm saying? Adding on to things. You know what I'm saying? Like constructive magic. You know, like yeah, to like create and manifest more so. What destructive magic is to like release things and pull out cards, and you know, release certain things that's no longer serving us. And destructive magic comes from the full moon moving into the new moon. You know, but we are still kind of in that in between, like coming from the new moon going into the full moon, because it's not October 13th yet. You know, but yeah, we're doing constructive magic, like, you know what I'm saying, like adding to this full moon energy. But you know, the full moon again, or the moon in general, you know, it has that feminine energy, dealing with intuition, dealing with dreams, dealing with our emotions first and foremost. Because again, the emotions is connected to the waters. You know, like that's why the water signs, you know, could be tapped into the emotions, and water signs are more psychic, and hence why females in most cases are more psychic. You know, the feminine energy, because they're tapped into the emotions. You know, the energy and motion. And there's no coincidence that the full moon, or the moon in general, you know what I'm saying, it connects with the water. You know, the tide, like on the beach, we live by our ocean, you know, you see the waves hitting a little harder, a little stronger when the moon is closer. You know, to us, and it's like especially like a super moon. You know what I'm saying? And as above, so below, as within, so without. We in this human experience in this human body, so we like walking water bags. So literally, you know what I'm saying, that full moon energy is affecting our water, you know what I'm saying, and creating the tides to be pushing heavily inside of us, you know, and dealing with these deep emotions, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of these emotions again is gonna be tied to the Aries energy, you know. So again, like for the most part, generally, like looking at things like from your perspective, like what, like is your deeper emotions and subconscious feelings about what you really want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? And that's a key situation right now as we shifting into 2020. You know, for whatever we call it, because 2020 is according to the Gregorian calendar. That's technically that's not the true aspect, because hence why again October, first September, Sept is 7, October is 8, you know what I'm saying? But in the Gregorian calendar, October is the 10th month instead of the 8th month, you know what I'm saying? So to throw things off on that sense, you know, but for whatever it's worth, you know what I'm saying? Again, where was I? The full moon energy in the moon energy again, just tapping into the inner emotions and subconscious realm in accordance, because a lot of us may be getting poked in the area of like, because some of us may be lying to ourselves about like what we really want in life and what we really want to deal with, and we're having emotions coming up, you know, really showing us like, nah, you know, you truly want to deal with this, or you know, you truly want to deal with that, and you know that, because again, not only in combination with Pluto coming out of retrograde, we realizing all these deeper subconscious programmings, and with the Aries energy, is really going to show, like, you know, what's really me. You know, like, am I doing this because my mom and daddy or my society taught me this? Or am I doing this because my inner heart, my inner intuition, and my inner guidance system, or my, you know, my soul, you know, and this is my sole purpose of why I'm doing things, and not because of what I was taught. You know what I'm saying? So we're getting a lot of realizations in that area, you know what I'm saying? And the Aries energy also deals with being dynamic, you know, like being spontaneous and taking action. So, you know, it's dealing with the subconscious realm of how we are dynamic. Like everything in the subconscious realm of how we're dynamic, like our impulsiveness, like how assertive we are. Because again, Aries is ruled by Mars, so you know that deals with assertiveness. Uh, and matter of fact, we want to make sure too that some of us not being overly headstrong, because that may be awareness that's being brought up as well. It's showing you how you may be being like headstrong to the point of being stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Where you're stubbornly like you know, going along with certain things, and that may not be what, again, like you could be again getting into the awareness of realizing like, all right, some of these things not me, and this is what I really want. And then you could get into the awareness of like, I've been being stubborn about some of these things, and it's like, again, not from my inner guides, which is all like the same thing, but you know, just reflective of, you know, what's going on inside of us and what we really want. You know what I'm saying? Because again, the Aries energy is also about being a pioneer, pioneering, stepping out into the unknown. And what greater, you know, energy to step into the unknown, but Aries, you know, again, that Mars is like that brave, that willpower, determination, courage. You know what I'm saying? Like, because Mars also deals with war, and you got to be courageous. You know what I'm saying? To go to war. Balancing things off, and balance, you know, again, to each his own on your experience too. Like, you came down here as wise about us realizing what truly is our sole purpose and why we truly came down here in this lifetime, you know, because that may uniquely vary between each soul, even though there's a collective uh, mission of, you know, just raising the conscious awareness of beings to make them, you know, not make them, to, you know, raise the conscious awareness within this realm, so we could all realize within this realm, hey, this is a dream realm. We created this realm. We are creators of our reality. You know what I'm saying? Blase blah. Like, and I say blase blah, but like in that general aspect of it. But it's not about see, I'm going in on these little tangents. What was I speaking on? But yeah, just I was talking about the collective and the difference in the unique experience. But yeah, like collectively that may be that's the thing, like showing that we are creators of our reality. But what you are creating in this reality is uniquely catered to what you sign up for on your soul purpose, on your soul contract. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole aspect. You know? But again, that full moon energy, our actions, taking risks, and say for instance on a subconscious level, why don't you take risks, or why do you take too many risks? You know what I'm saying? On a subconscious level, where do your actions come from? You know what I'm saying? Are your actions, governed by some subconscious programming from what they taught you in school, or what Hollywood, like from watching media and all that shit, talk about? Like, in order to do this, you gotta be like uh, Robin Leach, and you gotta do everything like the Rockefellers, or you gotta be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you doing things? Are your actions based from that? On a subconscious level, or is it based on your inner guidance and again, what you chose to come down here and do as a soul? You know, spontaneity, spontaneous energy, like on a subconscious level, and again, from a subconscious level, and also, your emotions dealing with these energies as well. You know what I'm saying? But again, we'll find ourselves dealing with the energy of being dynamic, and also being aware, of like getting hot-headed or too headstrong. We're definitely gonna be tapped into the sexual energy. The Mars deals with the sexual energy. And why do you have sex? Do you have it from just being overly lustful? Is it really about a soul connection? Like what because again, sex is a balanced situation. There's no good, no bad, no right or wrong. It's all how we deal with anything. Water is one of the quote unquote most life-giving things in this realm. And if you drink too much of it, you could bust all the cells in your body, or you could drown on water, or not enough of it could, cause an imbalance. You know what I'm saying? There's moderation and a balance with everything we deal with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the whole aspect. And the other aspect I want to speak on, basically I kind of spoke on it, as the release and transform, and more so, again, releasing certain programmings, you know what I'm saying? Certain programs that's been plugged into us that's not really us, and releasing all these things, in order to transform, to turn into that butterfly, you know, you got to release holding on to the caterpillar aspect of yourself. Still got love for the caterpillar me, because it was cool crawling with all those legs, and the analogy of it, being able to, climb things instead of fly, you know what I'm saying? And then there's an aspect of going through the cocoon stage where we feel like we're in limbo, or like we're not going anywhere. And again, not to be judgmental towards that area, which is key, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's not, we never want to be stagnant about anything. And at the same time, when we go through certain experiences, it's for a reason, and we just have to tap in and see why we are experiencing these things. Again, talking to ourselves, talking to our higher self. Because again, that's the subconscious programming within itself that may block you. If you was told all your life, oh, there ain't no such thing as God being within you. So you got a subconscious blockage of thinking like, oh, I can't talk to myself. Oh, that shit's some fake phony shit. That's some old sci-fi shit. Talking to a higher self. I'm just a human, and I'm gonna die, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And well, then that's why you're not tapping into your inner magic, because again, that subconscious programming will block you from, you know what I'm saying, really, doing the work. Again, I know for myself, I'm not perfect. Hence why, I'm always having to go back to, making sure I'm balanced and doing certain things within my realm of reality. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's how I continuously grow, is because I'm not trying to fucking lie to myself or run from some shit. Because I don't necessarily have to share it with y'all over video. That's just a part of me, just, again, like, like, fucking, I ain't got nothing to hide, in certain, I don't have anything to hide. Now, of course, certain areas, you're not just trying to, like, blab and give out, overly give out information, because it is a balance. But at the same time, it's about acknowledging these things, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't run away from these things. Yeah, sexual energy again. A woman could have like a tremor stage, like an orgasmic tremor stage, up to about 3 hours long. You think you're capable of that just so you could be a nun, just so you could just close down your sexual center completely? Again, like, we're not trying to go on the extremes. Now, uniquely for your experience, if you didn't experience things or you feel like you have to be celibate or whatever, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of your experience. And I would even say that even with that, you may come to a point of, like, healing whatever has you running from sex, and you may come across somebody that allows for you to open back up to that energy. And again, because that's what a lot of us, again, lining up with, that opposing energy, that masculine or feminine, that we align with, because we healing, again, back to healing the inner mother, healing the inner father, healing the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us, and also healing the inner child. Like, again, matter of fact, again, to plug in, if you haven't subscribed to my Patreon, the entry tier is $3 a month. You know what I'm saying? That's not much. I'm gonna start implementing some more tiers for more exclusiveness. Again, may end up adding tarot readings, but that may be a higher tier. Because I would have to do that monthly for everybody. So I would have to make it a high tier, so I don't have like over 100 people. Well, hey, which if it was 100 people, then I'll just have to find a way to, dish that out. You know what I'm saying, on a monthly basis. But yeah, with the Patreon video, I spoke on, again, the chakra exercise or meditation, about like going through each chakra, dealing with these energies. And one of the things for myself was like the people pleasing aspect, coming from, again, like, I had to heal my inner child, because my inner child still wanted to be friends with everybody, because my inner child was like the only child in that sense, and would do whatever it takes to just have somebody to play with, and have a little friend to play with. So I would ignore some things that I should have, not ignored, just to play with somebody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, but that goes back to the inner child, you know what I'm saying? Healing our inner selves, and as we start to balance out things in our, in our inner realm, we'll meet somebody, you know what I'm saying, that's connected with that energy. But again, as I said, the Aries full moon, that's just meaning like the moon energy within our being, you know what I'm saying, within our inner universe. Because again, the body is got the constellations embodied in this bodysuit. The Aries is the head area, Taurus the shoulders, and it goes down. Gemini all the way to Pisces being the feet. You know what I'm saying? And hence, no coincidence that Pisces, are very sensitive to, like, intuitive energies, and tap into things on a more soulful level, and not so much on a human perspective. Hence why they could be known for being like all, like, daydreamers, or not really grounded. But again, there's no coincidence they deal with the feet. And what's the back of the foot, you know what I'm saying, Karl? Like the bottom of your foot, like in the back part, quote unquote back area, but the sole of your foot, aka like your soul. And hence why, on some magic ritual shit, you know what I'm saying, the hospital system and all this is set up to give you a birth certificate, which again, like, they treating you like a ship, like a foreign ship coming on into their land. And it's like, all right, you got to have a birth certificate in order to, like, dock your ship. You know what I'm saying? And they put your soul where they take a little, the little imprint thing and put your sole of your foot as a little baby on the little documents, to put your soul on their paperwork. We're breaking out all these different things. And again, this transformation energy. October, the veil thinning, our clairvoyance, inner ancestral connections, psychic abilities are going to be boosted. A lot of quote unquote government and Hollywood exposure. A lot of entertainers come and find out that they maybe not who we thought they were, and that's all back to pride. Like pride, like, oh man, I was hoping that so and so, this Beyonce or so and so, and I just use those terminologies for lack of a better word, But any little entertainer or whatever, I was like, nah, they could have been down with the program the whole time. No good or bad, no right or wrong, because again, we signed up for this experience. We created artificial intelligence. We created parasites. We created from butterflies to parasites. That's what I like to say, from the shit that, cupcakes and sunshine to fucking shit and getting stabbed, bloody shit or whatever. It's all a part of the experience, you know what I'm saying? That we created. But again, a lot of realizations towards our soul purpose and really talking to our inner self. But now we about to start seeing that we have to, there's no longer lying to ourselves. Because again, as we're moving up in vibration, there's less of a grace period in between when you have certain thoughts or put out a certain energy and when it manifests, it's coming like this. So again, hence why it's about us, dealing with ourselves on such a level, because you're gonna constantly get, even though it's on a lower frequency, a lower vibration, it's still a manifest, as far as because I talked about earlier, if you say oh, I want to die, I want to kill myself, and because that's on a lower vibration, it doesn't happen like that. But if you continue to stay in that realm, yeah, you'll end up manifesting that, what I'm saying, or lining up with that manifestation, for the most part, I feel like, some people may have a unique contract to where maybe they could transition themselves purposely. For the most part, transition yourself purposely, aka commit suicide, is almost like skipping out. It's like trying to skip school. Or you signed up and came to the school, and you like, man, fuck this, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you signed up for this school, You the one who had the contract and everything, you know what I'm saying? Now on a microcosmic level, we may look at this as some people still had an outlook of oh yeah, it's the devil and this and that. I mean, it's just the part of us that wanted a physical experience, and we signed up with that part of ourselves, to come into this quote unquote chakra, or this quote unquote being, and have this experience, you know what I'm saying? And have the accountability to remember hey, we signed up for this. So if I do get lost in the sauce within this chakra, within this world, this whirlpool, this Taurus field, that, that's my, my doing. That's my fault, quote unquote. And I say fault, again, like something bad or good, But, again, everything, again, a lot of reflection on an entrepreneur level, or just a way of how you sustain yourself. Again, that Capricorn energy, dealing with being earthy, rooted, stable, practical. So things of that nature is where the transformation is focused at grounding this, certain energies. So again, Pluto coming out of retrograde and start to move again, it's just again, it's no longer us reflecting slowly on these things, it's kind of getting back to that pace. And now, you just gotta not be in denial for the most part. Just do your best to not deny any things that's being shown, because if you're obviously in repeat mode of anything, if you're constantly repeating something, then there's obviously something to fix on. You know what I'm saying? And hence again, having to catch for myself what little areas that that were repeating in my realm and seeing like, all right, in a source, all right, in a self, like what the fuck? Why do I keep doing this? Why do I still do this with finances? Why do I still feel this way about having a home or being houseless? Or why do I still look at women this way? Or why do I still look at men this way? Or why, you know, whatever you're going through, it's all again your inner subconscious realm and subconscious programming. So again, that's what the release and transform. And in some cases, releasing energies, and in some cases, just transmuting, meaning like just transforming those energies. And again, also again learning how like again as we're releasing some energies that no longer serve us, that's also more so to be said like we still again it's a balance and wholeness. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have God without the devil. You can't have angels without the demons. You can't have demons without the angels. So all of this still exists with us, is learning how to balance, harmonize, and be whole with all of these energies, which is very key. You know what I'm saying? Like the most powerful energy in essence is when we're balanced and whole in our being, because that's what source is. Source is all. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, oh, I'm just this over here. I'm just the unicorns and the cupcakes and the clouds in the sky, and that's it. Because then that would say, if God was just that, then it would be like, oh shit, then all this other stuff was created by something else that probably would be, shit, in that case, more powerful than that God. If for what people think is God, like again, just on the peachy positive stuff, it's like, well, shit, that God don't really have a lot of say so whatever in this realm must be, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, because all of it is source, you know what I'm saying? And that's where the programming of church come in, of like fucking people up, of like, oh, it's the devil and then it's God, and the devil is a whole different other being that obviously has way more power than God, because that's why you go through these little things and all this, it's like, nah. Again, it's the wholeness. Is about, again, like light and dark. What the yin and yang symbol is a mixture of light and dark. You know what I'm saying? The positive, the negative, the feminine and the masculine. It's not just feminine, not just masculine, not just hot, it's not just cold. It's a balance of those energies. Because again, certain things may come up, certain little negative is an ebb and flow, like just like riding a wave, literally. Like, sometimes the tides is high, sometimes the tides is low. Sometimes you're gonna catch a wave and ride that motherfucker like, oh, cowabunga, whatever. And then you're gonna fucking wipe out, you know what I'm saying, at certain points. But it's neither good, bad, right, or wrong, you know what I'm saying? Because when you wipe out, you get to realize that maybe your foot was wrong on the surfboard, you know what I'm saying? And when you do, like, ride that motherfucker, you learn, like, all right, how to catch that wave, you know what I'm saying, and stay with it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when to go out there when the tide is at a certain level or when it's not, you know what I'm saying? But it's all, back to the balance and harmonization within the being, not being on the extreme. Not extreme in my crown chakra, not extreme in my root chakra. You know what I'm saying? Balancing both of them out. You know what I'm saying? Hence why certain exercises of going through the days of the week and working through a chakra each week, you know what I'm saying? I'm working with a certain planetary energy each week. Because the days of the week are lined up with the planets, Monday, Moon Day, Tuesday, Mars, Wednesday, Mercury, Thursday, Jupiter, Friday, Venus, Saturday, Saturn Day, and Sunday, the Sun Day, you know what I'm saying? Like, to create a certain type of little balance like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it all goes back to balance. Like I'm doing this video without smoking, and I ain't eating nothing, and I'm, basically just kind of, clear vessel for the most part. I ain't eat since yesterday, but I'm, balanced, and then I'm gonna go fuck some food up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna go in. Not on no overindulgence, but definitely gonna get the grub because I am on a physical experience in a physical bodysuit. We do go through human shit. You're not gonna be right all the time. That's why we're going through this experience. You're not gonna be right all the time, or everything is not gonna be quote unquote perfect, especially from the perspective of what certain things teach what perfection is. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna go through shit like the dark night of the soul. The darkest hours of the night is right before the sun rises. You know what I'm saying? So when it seems like you're going through a bunch of shit and that life is bad, and again, somebody taught you that, hey, when you're going through these things, life is bad. When you're going through these things, life is good. You know what I'm saying? So you keep that subconscious programming, and without realizing it, because the subconscious stuff is very subtle, without realizing, you program yourself to look at this situation as good or this situation is bad. Like, when I eat vegetables, that's good. When I eat junk food, that's bad. It's just two different fuels. You eat junk food that doesn't contain a lot of light for your bodysuit and your vehicle, so it's not going to provide the most optimal fuel. And then when you eat vegetables, it has more light in it, and it's more of an optimal fuel. It's either right or wrong, good or bad. It's how you choose to, operate with it. You know what I'm saying? But, that's basically it, y'all. What's up, everybody? Divine Mama, 65 Starlight. See y'all chopping it up in here. Cowabunga. Yep. Any questions on anything that I spoke on already? Any questions, that I might have not touched on, or you came in too late, but that deals in the general area of, what I done talked on already. So I speak on homecoming again, like embracing, your roots and where you're from, or your early developmental stages of life, whether it seemed like it was quote unquote good or bad, you know what I'm saying? But embracing that, accepting that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what made you who you are, and your experience, anything dealing with that, or like the full moon and Aries energy, Matter of fact, and of course, any and all donations are greatly appreciated. Donation. I don't have the donation links just yet. I'm gonna put them under there. They're underneath all my other videos, but I haven't put it under the description in this live video. I'm gonna definitely put it there. And then all donations greatly appreciated. And I also have a Patreon page, and I also provide spiritual consultations right now as well. I have them. I don't have the sheet with me right now. I have them starting out. I think it's 44 minutes for $66. That's the entry level fee. And I want to say matter of fact, I just know that. And matter of fact, if you wanna, if you're interested in a spiritual consultation, just I would rather you probably Instagram me, but you could email me. Because again, a lot of y'all don't have the social media, but email me. You know what I'm saying? Again, what a spiritual consultation would be is, again, like a lot of us is new to the growth. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that, and again, like a consultation and with donating or giving money, whatever we want to call it, to these situations is more so an investment. That's what it really, really is investing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because again, just like investing in what I do, you know what I'm saying? By investing in, what we call sending a donation, that's building up what I'm doing. And as I'm investing that money back within myself, is investing, putting outwardly and being able to put out, information on a certain level. Because again, I'm not anybody guru, you know what I'm saying? I'm not like, I'm more of a student. Like I'm being masterful at being a student, in which that's what allows for me to kind of be a teacher in that sense of it. But again, with the spiritual consultations, it's basically like, you may have certain questions or certain things you're trying to like understand, and you're new to this whole situation. Like you don't even know where the first place to start at. Like, you know what I'm saying? And again, you just like, oh, trying to comment in a video, and like I got a bunch of things I'm doing and dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Again, making sure I sustain myself, so I won't be able, again, I have to, and that's another thing too, like, oh, spirituality is about being nice and trying to save everybody in that sense. No, I have to sustain and save my inner realm, and as I do that, I become a beacon of light, and I help others to do the same, just by being that example or that beacon, you know what I'm saying? But again, back to the consultations, because another thing too, going through certain things, going through all the different situations on my growth allowed for me to experience things firsthand. So instead of like, hey, well, I studied, psychedelics, or I studied some people who took psychedelics, and the information shows that no, like I took psychedelics, you know what I'm saying, so I could speak from experience, you know what I'm saying. I done had to deal with going back and do root chakra work, so I could speak from experience, you know what I'm saying. Like I done had to acknowledge shit that my egoic mind, or that aspect of myself wanted me to run away from, but it's like, nah, I have to acknowledge these things. But I done been through those experiences of the dark night of the soul and all these different things. So it's not necessarily just speaking from reading a book, you know what I'm saying. It's from those experiences myself. And again, a lot of us may have questions or certain things that they want to get certain insight about. Because again, with anything we're dealing with, anybody, take what resonates, leave what don't. You know what I'm saying? It's not for you to listen to everything a person say in that sense of it. And like, why I'm always grateful that whenever I was talking to anybody and they would kind of ask for my advice, I'd be like, well, first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, I can only give insight from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm intuitively like, yeah, I'm clairvoyant. I got clear cognizance. So yeah, I catch like little aspects of my higher self. Like clear cognizance basically like an inner knowing, like where without having to read a book or see certain things, I could just get an inner knowing, like on a simple level, like saying knowing that the government was fake all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole setup was some bullshit. You know, that's something simple. That's why I'm just saying, like, there's deeper little aspects of inner knowing, but you know, uh, having that clear cognizance or that clairvoyance. But again, it's all about your inner guidance, and what I'm doing is just helping giving insight to you on how to tap into your inner universe and your inner guidance system. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you're not trying to go external. You're not trying to again, like everything wants you to depend on Jesus, depend on Jesus, depend on a guru, depend on vegetables, depend on this external source or that external source. It's not being dependent on any of this. It's about learning how to, again, master your inner universe, and also build a masterful connection or a strong connection of communication with your inner guidance system. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, again, don't even know where to start in those areas and things of this nature. So it's the whole aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's part of like the rundown for like again for the spiritual consultations. Because again, and I had to catch that too, because at one time, again, that was my blocking my own blessings by judging like judging that situation, like, oh man, that life coach shit is stupid, or this and that, which I don't like. I don't want to use the terminology life coach, because really it's not, in that sense, it is a spiritual consultation. Because again, tapping into the occult, OCCULT, that which is hidden, and then tapping into the esoteric, which that the inner meaning instead of the outer meaning. You know what I'm saying? But it's helping me to it's helping you, what I'm saying, helping to tap into that information. But yeah, it's again, code that which is hidden, and tapping into the inner information and using your own inner guidance for the insight. Because yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. That's why I was at with it. Not looking for no guru programming or no external thing to to fix. Like working with a crystal is working with a tool. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things externally could be used as a tool. Like you could use one of my videos as a tool to gain insight, but it's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tap into your inner guidance. I could just help give some type of perspective. Again, due to my inner gnosis, due to whatever knowledge I may have gained from books in this nature. Because even with books are being led to a video with that. Again, that's why it's always taken what resonate, leave what don't. You're being led to these things because they're resonating with you. You know what I'm saying? Like the all the people that's in this live video right now is here because something resonates with them. And it could be as simple as just the title of the video. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that's resonating with you, and the reason why, you know what I'm saying, you're here. Yeah, like life coach. Let me tell you how to do this life thing, Sonny. Yeah, again, and again, I had to pull away from being extreme, though. I like judging it because I was judging it like, oh man, that's some dumb shit. Like, how the fuck you have a life coach? Or like, what's life coaching or whatever, whatever. But realizing that in some essence, not using that terminology, but being able to do again spiritual consultations, which is just helping people through, answering certain questions and helping people gain insight on what's going on in their realm of reality. Because again, I do get a lot of those questions where it's like, it's like, bro, I wouldn't be able to tap. Because again, my time and my essence is energy. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody might hit me in my DM, like, oh, bro, I did like a paragraph of shit, like just dumping it on me. And think about it, it is like, like boom, I'm going through this, what should I do, universe? It's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? For one, I'm tapping into some things, sustaining myself on multiple other levels, and I would spend hours trying to answer that question. You know what I'm saying? And again, hence why though, doing these things is about doing what you love, and at the same time making sure you're sustaining yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if you just out here like, oh, externally give, like you gotta take care of your inner universe, and that reflects outwardly. You know what I'm saying? Did you come? Somebody just come into what? Huh? Yep, yep. But that's basically it, y'all. Bring the homecoming vibes. Spoke on that, connecting with the root chakra. Still growing, not being too extreme in either one, not extreme in your crown, and your tree will topple over, not being extreme in your root because your tree won't even grow at all. You know what I'm saying? But that balance, staying strongly rooted and continuously growing. The mountain reach, a mountain go from a perspective of like being so high that it's fucking got snow at the top of it. In places where it technically don't snow every day, and that's it, you know what I'm saying? Because of how high it's going. Again, like climbing a ladder, like when you get on a ladder and the legs start wobbling like that, like you won't even be able to grab something off a shelf, let alone go on top of a house or somewhere high if, shit flimsy like that, you know what I'm saying? Gotta make sure you have a certain grounding aspect. Again, that's always, and as I'm speaking on this, again, speaking from a perspective of where I'm always doing this work for myself too. It's never like from a place of like, hey, you guys, you need to be doing this, and you need to be like, I'm continuously growing and experiencing. I like again, run from anybody who say they know it all and got it all figured out. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't the person to be dealing with. And as I say that, matter of fact, deal with whoever you want to deal with. You have the free will to if you somebody say they got it all figured out, I know it all, deal with me. Here's the perfect way to do this. Here's the perfect way to do that. By all means, give it a shot, give it a try. That's up to you. But yeah, you definitely don't want to be dealing with nothing that's trying to force you to see its perspective or influence you to see it its way or whatever. Hence why back and forth starts. Like duck season, rabbit season, duck season, hot, cold. Cold is better. No, no, it's not. It's none of that. Yeah, it's a constant growth. Yep. That's basically it, y'all. Again, yeah, I'm gonna have some other videos. And again, to any patrons or Patreon fam that's in here watching this live, I'm cooking up something right now for y'all. It'll be in connection with the Cyclomancy book and some exercises from the Cyclomancy book, and also just asking I could. But again, it's no longer because at first I was kind of just shipping them out, just. But it's like, for patrons. You know what I'm saying? You get a copy of the Cyclomancy book. I can send it to you. And again, I'll be doing a video speaking on that pretty soon as well. So again, I got so much free game already on YouTube, and I was just getting that insight. Like, all right, it's time to make sure you're doing this in a way that allows for you to receive the abundance that you're putting out. You know what I'm saying? Again, I always use the analogy, or you end up like I don't know, some of y'all might be too young or whatever, and I don't know if they still do those little juice boxes, but a little high C juice box. You remember the little carton juice boxes where you take all the juice out and then it's empty and somebody just jump on you and smash you, you know what I'm saying, and just blow you out, in that sense of it. Like again, when you just depleting yourself or giving too much of yourself without sustaining yourself, again, you won't be able to. I don't even want to use that analogy no more. I was just about to use an analogy, but I don't want to get people lost in the sauce of, again, trying to save the external realm before they save themselves. Because again, I bet you, even when I say that, if that makes you feel some kind of way, that because you were taught, oh no, it's selfish to, while the rest of the world wants you to work for it and and be a great worker and this and that, but you might have the programming of like, oh, it's selfish to take care of myself and to make sure I'm sustaining myself, or it's being greedy to make sure that I'm living in a home and not out in the street. That's greedy. That's selfish. And again, I be having to go within myself and make sure that shit ain't programmed within me. Or like I remember early in the game having a insight about being a yogi and like how some of that energy, like, and I say just a technical yogi, but like somebody who like give up like the material realm and things of this nature. Like being on such a place where it was like giving it all up in a sense of not focusing on it, but how can I say, being in that realm of giving up, like feeling like I have to be depleted to be spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like that aspect, like feeling like, oh, the only way to be spiritual is to be a motherfucker living outside with nothing. And that's not true. That's why I had to go through my little stint of living outside. Psst. That's part of that program. Yep, that's basically it. Yeah, yep. That's basically it. Again, any more little questions in alignment with anything I spoke on already before I go, because I'm about to shut it down. I think I cleared everything. Again, subtle subconscious programming coming fully to the surface. You can't run from yourself. Like Bob Marley's song said, you can't run away from yourself. You can't do it. The parasites and the artificial intelligence is something you created, and the butterflies and cupcakes is something you created. In order to be a whole being, you gotta acknowledge all of yourself. And that takes a lot of wisdom to sit there and not judge, to have, a negative and a positive, and not be a judge of either side, you know what I'm saying? Because in essence, that's us being reflective of the high energy. Because imagine if each aspect was being judged as good or bad, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of it would be in that existence, in that sense of it. The wisdom comes through embodying the wholeness. All right, I see something. How do you know when you're on the right spiritual track? That's a good question. I would say, well, again, realizing, getting in a vibration of realizing there's no, well, put it like this: as you start to, for one, start to come across more information that's opening up new aspects of your consciousness. Like no longer just staying in the old places of the way you were doing things all the time. So you're starting to see a shift in the way you do things and the way you're quote unquote thinking and the way you look at this realm. That's kind of like a little aspect of, again, the beginning aspects of your awakening. But honestly, again, it's like I want to say being in alignment in so many realms. There's more to that. Because you're constantly going to go through things. It's just more so when you're realizing that you're constantly breaking out of old loops. That'd be like my best way of explaining that. Like when you're realizing that you're constantly progressing and you're constantly, breaking out of what I call lesson loops that no longer serve you. So you're not just in repeat mode of like, you know, like staying in the same stagnant energy, like, staying in certain energies that no longer serve you, like, how does an alcoholic realize they had a breakthrough when they fucking no longer have a bottle in their hand all the time? You know what I'm saying? And with that, also understanding there's no good or bad, right or wrong. When they did have that bottle in their hand, it was a part of their experience, you know. But that's what I would say, like, like the breakthroughs or like the spiritual growth, you know what I'm saying, in essence, you know. Because again, it's like no, for lack of a better word, there is like a path to be taken. It's not necessarily no right or wrong path in that sense of it. But, again, it goes back to, growing out of a certain situation. Again, like tapping into your inner guidance, your inner system, and seeing what do you really, truly, love, as far as like, things you want to do and deal with within this realm of reality. Like seeing what that is, because again, if a person came down here to be a bum, you know what I'm saying? success is again, I watched a video about this, one of my videos. Like success, like a serial killer is successful if he came to step into the realm of killing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his thing. You know, is killing people. And he killed some people. That shit's successful. You know what I'm saying? Like if you came to be a bum and you fucking bum as fuck, then you're a successful bum. Like congratulations. You know what I'm saying? You're successful in what it is that you mapped out to do in that sense. But and what I could also attest to, as you start to see a lot more synchronicities. And now, if you're not familiar with synchronicities, I can't. I'm not able to go back and teach all of that. But I can say, when you start to see things line up, what some may call coincidences. You know what I'm saying? When you start to see like synchronicities within your realm, where it's like, oh, I came across this person as I was thinking about them, or this happened right after I said something about this, or when you're starting to see synchronicities that are beneficial to your soul growth, you know what I'm saying, beneficial to the aspect of you growing and learning from what you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying. But even again, like with the spiritual, like the quote unquote right spiritual track, that goes back to tapping into your inner guidance and seeing what you signed up for as a soul within this realm of reality, and seeing, you know what I'm saying. I don't like using that word. I trust that I answered that to the best of the ability, Jordan Williams. But you'll start to get more in your moment, less in your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like just being in the now, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like being in a state of no judgment towards yourself, and then that turns into no judgment towards others, and no judgment, again, like technically you might not agree with the actions of a person that hates other people, you know what I'm saying? Like you might not agree with those actions, but that doesn't mean you're judgmental of them. Like, because again, like as a elder wise energy, you think a higher energy is like being judgmental towards, like, oh man, these people are hateful. Like if all of it is us, it ain't no reason to judge none of us, you know what I'm saying? Like it's embracing the whole aspect, and we go through different cycles and stuff anyway, so certain things that serve a purpose in certain moments, and then when we cycle out of a certain energy, it doesn't serve a purpose in certain moments, All right, cool. Yeah, because again, it ain't no necessarily right spiritual path in that sense of it, but yeah, there is, a line path where you're aligned with your inner source, aligned with your inner being, your inner guidance system in that sense of it. Yeah, and that's another thing too, like realizing, like moving around, like I had to break out of my pride of like realizing to move around from LA. Like you gotta, again, if you're dealing with your pride or dealing with like that stubbornness, you know what I'm saying, in an unhealthy manner, because there is again a way to be headstrong, or should I say, like, not say headstrong in that sense of it, but to be, again, like that Aries energy I spoke on earlier, like, to be in line with what's really right for you and what you really, align with, and not what somebody else align with, but not to the point of being stubborn and in that aspect where you're trying to align with something that you think, what I'm saying, that you feel, you should be doing, but it may not be really for you, Again, you may be headstrong about this idea due to some type of programming and not necessarily due to your inner guidance. So you have to like be be able to bring that shit up and not like, not be scared to admit like, oh shit, maybe I was following the idea of like, hey, to be successful, you gotta go to Hollywood and, you gotta become a star for Hollywood or whatever the case may be. And not that I was actually following that dream and that blueprint and that sense of it, but that's the gist of the thing. You gotta be able to admit and acknowledge things. Yeah, y'all, that's basically it. Any more questions before I go? Another question, I'm up for it. Again, and pertaining to what we talking about. No more questions. Again, dealing with the Aries full moon energy, dealing with the homecoming energy and things, dealing with the connection with the roots, early developmental stages. Yeah, Jordan Williams just emailed me. My email is epiclifestyles@gmail.com. The link is in my older, like any of my past videos I done already. The link is also in my Instagram as well. If you're now on Instagram, again, it would be underneath one of my videos, and it's Epic Lifestyles, EPIKLIFESTYLEZ @gmail.com. Send me a message. My name is Jordan Williams from the video. I'm looking for, to tap into a spiritual consultation with you. Blah, 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 and we take it from there. But R.I.P. But how would I know if I'm close to find my queen? For one, you just gotta be the one to attract the one. I got a video on that. Again, healing your inner father, healing your inner mother, healing your inner child. You know what I'm saying? There's another thing too. Like how would I be able to, bring a child into this realm? And that's part of like whatever quote unquote. And karmic doesn't mean bad or good. It's just cause and effect. But like karmic energy that our parents dealt with, of like bringing a seed into this realm without necessarily having their inner father and mother healed and having their inner child healed. But hence us, a lot of us are here, and again, by doing this inner work, it's not like, hey, I'm here to save the world in that sense. You're saving the world by saving your inner world. And your inner world has an unbalance, for the most case, a lot of us have some healing to put to our inner father and our inner mother energy and our inner child. So, it's healing those energies. Like, and balancing those energies within ourselves. When you balance that energy out and you become the masculine that you truly are, in that sense of it being that balanced masculine, then you're going to attract, because again, think about, like, we'll be asking for a mate and this and that, but like we might be still in the vibe of like, let's just say, spending our money frivolously. Like, are we still in the vibe of like being overly jealous about things? Like, so I'm being overly jealous. I don't even hold my money enough to build a foundation to have a home or something like that, and then I'm attract the mate, then you gonna attract the mate that's in balance with what you're dealing with right now. They gonna reflect some type of jealousy too. They gonna reflect some type of instability as well. You know what I'm saying? So, and your higher self knows that you don't want to attract a dysfunctional situation. Now, of course, on some to work out karmic energy, you may attract a situation like that. And again, because you didn't realize it inside, so it manifested outside into a situation of you dealing with, a certain queen where things didn't line up. But it was for you to learn that, hey, that energy that you was giving off attracted her, and the energy that she was giving off, wasn't really the best energy and really what you want to be the end all be all for your relationship. you know. So you gotta align yourself, with certain energies inside. Again, be the one to attract the one. You know what I'm saying? Start, if you're an entrepreneur, start being more stable in the way you're an entrepreneur. Start, learning how to deal with your, with financial aspects in a more accountable way. You know, uh, all these different things. I'm bringing this up. I'm talking to certain aspects within my realm in reality, that I had to check and deal with. But yeah, it's being the one to attract the one, definitely. Oh, and all right. So another thing too with any of this, I only speak on what I'm real, from the perspective of what I'm great at. I don't try to act like a person who's like so studied in astrology where I could be like, hey, Aries moon signs, you're gonna be dealing with this. Aries, you if you got Uranus in Aries, you're gonna be doing this. If you got Neptune in Aries, you're gonna be doing that. So from here on out, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure I'm not creating that facade just because I'm speaking on it. Again, I'm just speaking from the perspective of the insight, because I don't even, again, be wanting to get too deep into it in that sense, because I also, like, again, I'm balanced about it. I see where it's like a weather forecast, and then some people get caught up on the weather forecast where they like, oh, before I even step outside, I gotta like study like all these different, aspects, which again, it does come in handy to learn about these things, but you could also lock yourself up into a box by just always like, oh, well, I gotta see and I'm not making a move unless I know where the full moon is or this and that. Now, of course, when it comes to like doing a magic ritual or something like that, it's great to have awareness of like, oh, it's a full moon, it's a new moon, or hey, the Uranus energy is in Taurus, you know what I'm saying, or this and that. You know, it helps, but So with that being said, I'm not, I wouldn't be able to answer that. Appreciate you asking the question though. But yep. Not not too familiar in that realm. I could just speak on again like the general energies of it. And two, ask yourself again if you still feel like, all right, I haven't attracted the one just yet. Like, you know, like pay attention. Ask yourself, all right, what else is there? Like higher self. Let me know if there's any little area that I'm not really catching. You know, that's still blocking me from this alignment with the, with having a relationship, with being with a certain being. You know what I'm saying? Like, like what's going on? Because you could have stepped into a place of feeling like, oh man, there's no hope. I've been doing all these things right, and it seemed like it's just not gonna happen. By getting into that aspect, you may lock yourself into that realm. Like, oh well, shit, I've been doing all this work for nothing. It's not happening, so it's not gonna happen. Just make sure you're aware to again, just always be asking yourself that question, and talking to your inner self and seeing, like, all right, I feel, I've been doing everything in this area, everything in this area. What other areas there for me to work on, or what's going on in my subconscious that may be still be blocking this, or what's going on in one of my chakras that I may still need to heal. What aspect of my inner mother that I need to heal, or what aspect of my inner father that I may still need to heal, or what aspect of my inner child that I may still need to heal before I step into this. Am I looking for this relationship to make me whole? Because that within itself is back to turning Jesus. Now you done turn Jesus into a relationship. But, once I get, just like once Jesus come back and return and return again, then I'll be back one with God. Once I get my soulmate, then I'll be back one. Or you gotta know that you are complete and work on that completeness before even again meeting that person, and not feel like, oh, I gotta be with my twin flame in order to grow spiritually, or I have to have this relationship in order to move forward or to grow. Because that, like, again, that I repeat, I can't say it enough, like, if you feel like you need anything externally to grow, to be spiritually aligned or to be spiritually complete, and that's what's creating the incompleteness within itself, and gonna keep you, within that lesson loop of whatever that situation is. Like, nothing externally could save you. You could work with certain external tools and stuff like this. I can work with this pyrite, but this pyrite is not gonna save you. It'll help give off the vibration of whatever it gives off, or for sure, set my intentions of working with it a certain way or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a tool. What I'm saying? I can't sit there and back, all right, pyrite, heal all my inner subconscious muck, heal all my inner subconscious, heal my inner child, pyrite, just by being in my presence. Like, nah, it don't work like that. Let's see, I'm about to Jordan. Wait, if it lets me do it, it seems like it don't even want to let me type. Can I type in this thing? But yeah, it's Epic Lifestyles. Again, if you familiar with my YouTube channel, so say for like you said you watched that Be the One video, they should have my email underneath that video. Again, cause it's not letting me write. I just tried to write something in here. Gotcha. But it's not letting me type nothing in. But and again, it's Epic Lifestyles, EPIK. And matter of fact, look, I just thought about it. I got a pencil and a pen right here. I don't know if it's gonna show, which I think I could turn this thing around. One second. And also to donate, Jordan. If you want to donate before the consultation, the donation link is again underneath all of my videos. It'll have my PayPal link. It has my Venmo link. Well, no, not the link for Venmo. It just has a name for Venmo and Cash App. But it has my PayPal link where you just click on it and it goes right to PayPal where you just type that in. I'm writing down. Gmail.com. And again, any and all donations is greatly appreciated, everyone. Everybody. Everybody. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. So let's see. Alright, so I'm about to change the camera view a little bit. Let's see. Can I do this? This is right here. Epic Lifestyles at gmail.com. Yep, yep. It'll be in the again, and the donations links is in the details section of all my videos. Yep. Being, a matter of fact, that's another thing too. You get in a state of just being. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the end all be all too. It's like you get so in tune with yourself where you're no longer having to think about any like what decision I should make. Because that's another thing, removing that overthinking aspect too. Hence why again, now is the vibrate, not too far in the future, not too far in the past. I'm not dwelling on some thoughts about what happened in my past, and not dwelling on some thoughts of what happened in my future. Now, as I'm saying that, excuse me, it's okay for us to tap into our past when it has relevance to our moment. Because again, that's how we heal. Again, like that's what the aspect talking about, like healing root chakra energies or subconscious energies. I have to, look at certain past aspects and see, like, all right, what happened when I was 3 years old or 4 years old or 5 years old, in relevance to my moment, so I can heal that energy right now. And it's cool to, peep into the future and see, like, all right, what's popping off in the future, so I could operate, when it has relevance to my now, seeing how I could apply that to my now with relevance, but not just like always just in the future, in the future, in the future, and always like, well, yeah, I remember when this or this. I use Al Bundy example. Married, the show used to come on called Married with Children, but Al Bundy was the main character, and he would always speak on his high school performance. And you didn't come across these beings and this energy before, like somebody that's always leaning on their old glory days, but they're not making nothing happen right now, because that's like if I was to be like, oh yeah, like I remember when I first got a big donation. I remember when I first got my 1,000 followers, man. This and that. I just keep retelling that story, keep reliving that moment where I'm gonna never continuously grow. And not saying that as about, if I'm using that as an example, you know. Again, like Al Bundy would always talk about it. I scored 4 touchdowns in 4 minutes in the poke high to win the game. You know what I'm saying? This and that. And you just keep retelling this story, because that's what he would get his glory from. But hence, he wouldn't be operating in his now and creating some new glory days or some new things to speak on and enjoy and experience, because he was always going back to that old shit and not, doing nothing new. And again, not being mad at ourselves if we do find ourselves doing these things, acknowledge it in order to grow from it, acknowledge it, don't be over prideful about it, you know what I'm saying? Realize, like, all right, I have been, living in the past or trying to go too far in the future, and it's preventing me from creating a beautiful now moment, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it all goes back to, again, being right now. Now is the vibrate and being, you know what I'm saying? But we again, right within our now, we're healing all these aspects. And once we get to practice, again, habitual, the video I got called Triple H, habitual healthy habits. We got to create a habitual nature of doing things new or differently, you know what I'm saying, compared to what we was doing. And in order to, create a different situation in our external realm. Create a habitual, healthy habit within, and our outer world will reflect that. And again, we'll get into a moment where we'll get to a place where we're being so in the now, and again, like it's just flowing, like, because I done spoke on that, like, well, being beings where we've been so habitually in our thoughts, because also that's where a lot of fear come from, false evidence appearing real, you know, or what if I get T-boned at this stoplight and the car hit me? What if my child gets kidnapped? What if, that's all what if, that ain't happened, you know? And I ain't gonna say happened yet, it ain't even happened, that's you creating it with your mind. Now, I mean, you can't say yet if you continuously focus on that false evidence appearing real with your thoughts, you know what I'm saying? But in your moment, again, like, what am I doing in this moment? Like, focus on your moment, like what's going on in your direct moment, you know what I'm saying? And as you get in the habitual nature of that, it will be less thoughts coming to you. Again, like you've been in a habitual nature of like drinking a lot. Only getting in the habitual nature of not drinking a lot will allow for you to step out of that. You know what I'm saying? You can balance that out later however you want, whether it's not drinking at all anymore or like knowing when to have a little sip and when not to, whatever. But at the end of the day, again, you gotta create new habitual healthy habits, you know what I'm saying? And not still indulging in the old ones. But again, everything is about experience, no good or bad, right or wrong. So if you're finding yourself in old habitual habits, it's obviously happening for you, not necessarily to stay in that habit, but it keeps happening so you can realize what you're doing or what you're not doing, and work on that if you want to, if you want to experience different. Yeah, yeah, but I'm about to go, y'all. That channel. I know, I mean, just like I'm doing this live video right here, sometimes on Instagram I do a live video, and my lives on Instagram be more like a town hall vibe where I really kind of just be running it, you know what I'm saying? I done had moments like this on my YouTube, but I definitely like getting that vibe on my IG. I end up probably sparking one up and just running it. Matter of fact, tapping in, being at peace with my little inner lower vibrations of smoking herb, you know what I'm saying? It's no good, no bad, no right or wrong. It's having intention of what we having an intent when we dealing with something, and how do we, what's our intentions and what we focusing on before stepping in to these realms. You know what I'm saying? That's key too. Like intention and focus. Focus. A laser beam is able to burn some shit up. Or like when you take a magnifying glass and magnify the sunlight, that's because you're putting focus energy, and that's how we're able to align with things in our realm of reality, because we have a certain like focus and in tune energy instead of being everywhere. So we get everywhere type of things manifesting in our reality. If we're not more focused. And again, setting intentions. I had to realize that we're dealing with the inner energies. You know what I'm saying? Setting intentions, but Jose Perez, what up? What up? What's up, Marlon? Yeah, I'm in OP. It's time. mean, email. You know what I'm saying? Anytime is, emailing me whenever it lines up for you or whatever. Once I realize it's not no foolishness, I end up, answering back. Again, somebody not trying to get like a consultation from one question, which is don't be one question, but they like, in teachers on. I get that too. Like what I be doing, I have to realize like what am I doing in my inner realm to attract somebody to feel like, oh, they could just dump all this on me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's something that I'm doing to attract certain energies. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, if I'm in a certain falsehood of spirituality, I'm going to attract those falsehoods, you know what I'm saying? And then the moment I could go to like, man, where the fuck these people come from or this energy comes from? So this some shit, I created in the first place, So I'm giving off the energy to create that energy and that sense of it. All right, Miss Kansas Jackson, what's up, what's up? Yup. I appreciate it. Yep. Matter of fact, another thing too, I'm learning, to be with that vibe, like not taking insults personally and not taking compliments personally. Like, of course, I'd be like, oh yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Universal, but that was a great video on such and such, this and that. Like, oh yeah, appreciate it. But again, I can't, I don't like using the word can, but I don't want to allow for myself to, take those things personal because again, it is what it is as far as me just, giving off my energy to, to create a certain situation. To create a little certain situation. But yep, yep. I'm about to cut it short shortly. You good though? Okay. So I'm moving on. What else? Keep your eyes open, guys. But yep, that's basically it though, y'all. Aries, yep. Yeah, y'all. That's basically it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have some more again, some just more regular videos. And I'm also have an Instagram live coming soon, so that's gonna be the vibe. But definitely that's it. Again, don't forget to if you want notifications of when I do lives or when I post a video, hit that little bell button. For notifications. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed. Again, under your own free will. You know what I'm saying? And always with any messages, take what resonate, leave what don't. Yeah, I'm not no guru or not, anybody should be treated external like, you're going to get all of everything from them because then you're not getting what's inside of you. It's all about, you know, what's inside. So, blessings, y'all. I'm out, man. Happy now. I already know now to vibrate. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Peace, y'all.